Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, HMMMM yes, our yard, your problem. Entitled house guests. Would it be wrong to move out or am I being ungrateful? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. HMMMM yes, our yard, your problem. So basically, we had the local Karen in our neighborhood with like 4 kids, he'll call entitled parent EP. EP lives near us, like, next to our house near us, and that can get annoying. Me, my dad, and my sister, mother is at work 24/7, and dad is retired, we're at home kinda, just chilling, dad was sleeping, me probably sleeping as well, and sister downstairs playing on her tablet. Then the transformer on the telephone pole in our yard freaking just explodes as loud as a cannon. Early in the morning, everyone is surprised, we were confused, then we were like oh shat, no more power, good thing we have the old-S generator which works like a champ of course. Only needed a oil change and like 2 small parts needed to be fixed over the years, that's only when it failed us, so now, old Gene starts up, and keeps on running, for how long? Oh, like for 3 days straight. EP gets extremely angry, and calls the police on us, why? Because our generator was too loud. Oh no! Whatever shall we do? Police come, my dad is confused, he was thinking we go to church, we are good people, what did we do? The police explain EP called because of the generator, dad explains we can't really turn it off, since we need power, police understand fully, and leave, EP is angry. She kinda just stink eyes our house for the rest of the day like she was planning something, she didn't. A year later, my dad decides to dazzle up the house, new gray paint, carpet, siding, windows, now to deal with the ugly skinny trees in the backyard and replace them with beautiful flowers. So we order a company to cut down and grinded the roots/removed roots, and oh, can you guess what happens? Child jumps into the fire pit? Our mini playground disappeared? Someone replaced the fence which we own. Nope. EP calls the police, yet again, because we ordered a tree company to cut down some small skinny trees. My dad of course couldn't do it, me and my sister were not trusted with any power tools, and mother was at work almost the whole week, which is why we called them. So police come again, and are very annoyed because they remember last time EP called, so they asked my dad what was the commotion. Dad tells them we ordered a company to cut down some trees which wouldn't take long, since they're very small, and police left. EP got angry, later she moved out, thank God. And we don't have to deal with her anymore. Big win. She must have been a real joy to the neighborhood. Was a pleasure to deal with indeed. For what stupid reason did she get mad about trees getting cut down? If anything, she should be happy because I had the same problem where the trunk was about as thick as a can of Coke and were super ugly, so we cut them down. I don't know who or where cause it sounds like everywhere in my cabin, but I hear trees being cut at least 4 days a week as I'm surrounded by woods. Sometimes a big one comes down and the house shakes. Scares the crap out of me when that happens, but it's no big deal. My landlord cuts logs, so sometimes it's him and sometimes it's not. I like the quiet days better though, there's no reason to call the police. I feel sorry for her new neighbors. She sounds like someone who is just angry all the time. And just wants everybody to be as miserable as her. Entitled house guests. So, about 12 years ago, the summer after I, 34F, graduated from college, I was back at home and planning a wedding to my husband, 32M. I was there for about a month or so when my father came home from a late shift around midnight one night and came inside as white as a sheet because he had just been robbed at gunpoint right in front of our house. It was a disrupted night of sleep for all of us to say the least after we had dealt with the police and whatnot. I honestly don't think that my father even slept. So, the next day my mother called her good friend and told her what happened, and the friend graciously invited all 3 of us humans, 2 birds, a dog, and a turtle to move into their basement until they could find a place to live in a safer area because we had been living in a very bad part of town, which is why what happened. So, we all moved in and all was well for a few weeks until my narcissistic father and entitled mother started to complain about how this friend and her husband lived differently than they did. I mean, obviously. Two couples in their 40s/50s are going to live differently than each other, but my parents were so dumb and petty about the things they chose to complain about. Granted, there were some serious things that this couple had going on that were problematic, like not having any gas because it had been shut off due to non-payment, so there was no heat or hot water. The heat wasn't a problem because it was summer, but the cold showers were a bit annoying, but still, we were guests in their home. Anyway, here's a list of the dumbest things my parents got into fights with them over. 1. The couple never ate any veggies and ate like children. 2. Their teenage daughter was too sullen and spent too much time in her room. 3. The lady slept with a teddy bear. 4. The man washed his hands too thoroughly and too often. 5. The man was struggling to find a job, hence the gas being shut off, but my father spent the entirety of my HS career unemployed. 6. Their dog's breath stank. 7. They complained about the people's house cleaning because there was dog hair all over the place and it was cluttered. The house we left looked like it should have been on the show Hoarders. I can't think of anything else because I have tried to block that period of my life out, but my parents stayed with them for a good 6 months and they were constantly fighting over the dumbest things like the above. It just baffles me honestly that my parents would be so ungrateful of their hosts like that. I mean, I am not surprised, because as I mentioned at the beginning, my father is a narcissist and my mother is entitled because of it, but I would be a lot more grateful if someone was letting me, my adult kid, and several pets live in their basement. Thankfully, I went back to my college town after the end of the summer and didn't have to deal with that nonsense on a daily basis while also planning a wedding, but yeah. There's one of the thousands of entitled parents stories I have. SMH. When you are a guest in someone's home, you live by their rules. They were nice enough to take all of you and your pets in. Why didn't your parents offer to help pay the gas bill? That's what I would have done. What's wrong with an adult sleeping with a stuffed animal? I sleep with one, and I'm 20. I am sick in bed with a cold and am hugging my teddy bear. And I'm 61. How did they know the woman slept with a teddy bear? And why should they care? How did that affect them? Same with the thing about the daughter spending time in her room. What business was it of theirs? That friend and her husband had a heck of a lot more patience and kindness and generosity than most people would. I can't imagine most people putting up with that sort of behavior from people living like guests in their house for 6 months. Oh, the main bathroom shower was broken in some way, so we had to shower in the bathroom in the master bedroom. And these people refrained from kicking your parents out? Would it be wrong to move out, or am I being ungrateful? I, 21F, grew up in a single mother household with 5 other siblings. Also, I was the only girl, middle child. My mother is very hardworking to the point where I don't even remember her being there half my childhood. I just remember her working from home, selling houses, doing hair, and going to nursing school. Now, she's an RN all at 50 years old. Let's just say I have a lot to live up to. Now I have a little sister, 7F. A lot of no majority of, if not all, my teenage years I was watching her. No football games, no basketball games, no late nights out with friends. My cousins still make jokes that I was a second mother at 14. My mom has done a lot for me physically, so that's why I feel so ungrateful. My mother and I don't have the best relationship. We don't talk, and I honestly kind of don't like being around her. I feel really bad, but mentally, emotionally I can't stay in this town. I don't have a life here. Every time I travel I feel that taste of freedom that I know it's gonna go away once I step back in my hometown. It's the same day-to-day routine every single day. Recently, my mom is getting another divorce. I don't care. I know my mom's not gonna read this, so that man was a BTCH and I called it. She always dates down when she's worth so much more. But now she's talking about stepping up again and doing more around the house. But she knows I have one foot out the door. It's making our relationship even worse that I'm barely home. I just do the bare minimum, like making sure my sister gets to school and she eats and goes to bed on time. I honestly don't even think I'm much help at the moment. Plus, she says it all the time anyway. But with everything going on at my house, I just feel like an ungrateful angry ball of misery. Like I'm supposed to want to help her and stay. But if I stay, I know my story, I'll just end up depressed, pregnant, and a stoner for the rest of my life taking care of people that I don't want to. I'm so ashamed to say that. And moving, God, just thinking about it I can feel the opportunity, the worry, the excitement, the struggle, the happiness, it no risk no story. This is truly a rant and there's no structure. I just want to know if I am an ungrateful human being for wanting to leave my mom behind and figure it out? You're not being ungrateful. You sound extremely grateful. Sacrificing your own life to the altar of gratitude, however, would be foolish. Get your plans together, get your documents, and launch into your own life. If your mom has your best interest at heart, she will be supportive and proud. Your sister is her responsibility, not yours. Thanks, this reminds me of my aunt saying that my mother's and I relationship would be better with distance and time. I just wanted clarity that I'm not making the wrong decision. You should stop feeling guilty for one thing. Anything your mother did for you while you were growing up was her obligation. Children don't ask to be born, so the parent is responsible for their well-being and providing for them. As for your sister, you were parentified, which is a form of child abuse because you were made into a parent against your will. You aren't responsible for your mother's decisions, so if you want to move out, you absolutely should. Go start your own life without guilt or carrying the burden of other people's choices. Yeah, definitely something I'm going to start working on, isn't going to happen overnight. It just makes it feel like I'm turning my back on her when I've been helpful in the past. But it's hurting my mental, I don't even want kids, they seem like a burden. Leave. She's been extremely selfish. She's legally obliged as your parent to provide you with shelter and food, clothing and healthcare. Don't let her hold that over your head because it doesn't make her a good parent, just a law-abiding one. It's not your fault she decided to keep having kids by guys she would divorce and leave her a single parent. Look up parentification, it's a form of abuse. Your childhood was stolen from you, but you're still in your youth, you have so much that you could do for yourself. If you stay, you'll never have a life of your own. Be free, you deserve it. This sounds like textbook parentification of I'm not misunderstanding things. There are support groups on Reddit and all over the internet you can go to and get perspective from people in a similar situation to yours. Honestly, OP, you're better off living your own life. Go do what you want to do. And either she'll understand or she won't, but make the most of what you've got going for you. I hope you achieve great things. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.